Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast, the movie review and talk show podcast that comes your way every Saturday, whether you're ready for us or not. These are the Internet Radio Superstars.
Holly.
Sean.
And I'm Colin, and tonight we watched a movie that was chosen by the recently injured...
Sean.
Very recently injured.
Before you just broke your own
knee.
Lower half of your body.
Yep.
What movie did you pick tonight?
We watched Heretic.
Heretic? That's a recent one.
It is from the year 2024.
Directed by?
It is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods.
Do we know these two?
We do. I like the production company Beckwoods, which sounds like
Backwoods. That's nice. That's nice.
But these are this is the duo responsible for they co-wrote A Quiet Place.
Yes.
They have directed a thriller called Nightlight from 2015, which I have not heard of. Didn't see. We know Haunt from 2019.
Yeah,
Sure.
guys who did Haunt did this movie.
We have thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember it was better than it should have been.
Better than it should have been. Had some problems, but whatever.
Yeah, and we all liked A Quiet Place.
We all liked A Quiet Place. It's a very good movie. The science fiction thriller 65 with Adam Driver, the dinosaur movie.
The dinosaur movie?
They did the dinosaur movie.
Shut up.
Which I thought looked interesting. Never watched because someone said it's. I think Michaela said it's bad.
I think so.
So we never got around to it. I didn't see it either.
And then 2024 is Heretic.
Yep.
Heretic, yeah.
So there you go.
And yeah, we briefly mentioned this on our end of year episode last year.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it.
Oh.
No, it was one of my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I had seen it before.
So we
I'm
didn't.
pretty sure Michaela saw it.
Yeah, Michaela and I saw it together.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was one of my honorable mentions. So we briefly grazed over. We didn't talk about it a whole lot, so it's fine that we're talking about it tonight.
I remember nothing about it.
Yeah.
Just
you hadn't seen it.
I had not seen it before
Yeah.
tonight, so this is my first time watching this.
So what'd you think? Oh, okay.
So what made you bring it tonight?
What made me bring it tonight?
That's right, because
sheer
everybody
terror.
was expecting, if you listen to last week's episode.
I was emphatic at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
It was like, we are watching that movie.
Yeah, and then
Well, it was
Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which was announced at the end of last episode.
Yeah.
But then that is a movie that I feel that we all need to be here for.
Yeah.
All four of them.
And obviously Michaela could not be here tonight.
Michaela
so.
could not be here
we
tonight.
bring it up all the time. That's the
Yeah, we got that bell in the corner that we're ringing every time
We've
this
brought
goes
it up
off.
a lot.
Yeah, and we
Which is
haven't.
funny because you guys haven't seen it, but it's one of those titles.
Well, it's
a
just-
title that grabs your imagination.
Well, because you've brought every fucking Giallo movie under the sun except for that one.
Right.
And so every time we watch one, you bring it up.
We have not we have not gone in a Giallo episode where you have not brought it up, or somebody hasn't brought it up.
Right. So, and it's just time.
Yeah. So out of sheer panic, I picked that one, and then out of sheer panic again when Michaela was not able to be here, I was just like, all right, I need to find something, and nothing on my list was speaking to me. And I was just like, ooh, I wanted to see this one.
This was definitely a wild card. I did not expect you to bring this.
Yeah, I know. I was looking through lists, and I was just like, you know what? I missed out on it. It looked good.
Yeah.
I remember you guys saying, like, it was good, or at least it got an honorable mention. I was just like, all right, let's do Heretic, because if nothing else, it seems like it will have an interesting subject matter, and I have no idea where and I have no idea where it goes outside of Hugh Grant's living room.
Right.
Everything after that is just like, I have no idea.
So you said
there's some kind of puzzle stuff involved.
Yeah, because there's in the trailers there's a lot of moving wood and puzzles and shifting things and all that stuff.
So the caution is we are going to spoil the movie as we talk about it and piece it out in this episode.
But I think one of the biggest draws in the movie you just mentioned, who stars in this, is what really got people's attention.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant plays the villain.
Heretic.
The villain.
He is the heretic.
Which was big news, playing the villain.
And he does it so well.
He really does. It's like he had been waiting his entire career for this moment to finally happen.
The man is a storyteller, and
he's the college professor I always wanted.
Right. If nothing else, in the characters he chooses who love to tell stories, because if you guys seen The Gentleman.
Yes.
Oh, you haven't seen The Gentleman? Oh, watch The Gentleman. It's great.
The Gentleman is great.
He's telling the story, the narrative story around that, and it's gangsters and it's Guy Ritchie and it's fucking fun, and he's great. But he relishes in being able to stand in a room and tell you a story. And he pulls it off great in that movie.
Really
and he does it well in this one.
He does a lot of it in this movie.
He does a lot of it. There's a lot of talking in this movie, but it's good.
Yeah.
Because this is a.
But that may not be what people expect, or maybe it is. But I mean, I guess we're saying it's a very talky movie.
Oh yeah.
Very talky.
Dialogue heavy for sure.
Dialogue, philosophical. You know, they're broaching subjects that.
The title of this movie is very appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We always talk about that on the show, like, oh, the title lied, or the title title tells you exactly what you're getting into with this.
What is a heretic, Holly?
What is a heretic?
We can go with the. I wouldn't be able to tell you unless I looked it up specifically. I know when people say it, I understand.
Yeah, it's basically when someone is like speaking against the religion.
Yeah.
You know, people were accused of heretics back in the day when there's like the Catholicism versus Lutheran situation. Yeah. If they were a Lutheran, they were a heretic to the Catholicism. You know, so it's speaking against the popular religion,
or asking questions, or technically a heretic is a person whose ideas or actions significantly conflict with established doctrines, rules, or beliefs, especially within a religion or an established institution.
Yeah.
So then they would become like an apostate and get thrown out.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. You were
well, being thrown out is
for heretical beliefs.
Thrown out would be the nice thing to do. Most of them were burned.
Yeah.
Hung.
Depending on which era you lived in.
Right.
Burned, hung, all the things, but being thrown out was the nice one.
Yes. Yeah. The severity of it is changes.
Oh, history.
So, Hugh Grant's in the movie.
Imagine it circling back around.
Oh, it's coming back.
Who else is in the movie?
Sophie Hatcher.
Who we know. From
the movie that popped up right after this, like, do you want to watch Companion?
It's like, obviously this is a companion piece.
That was the other big one from was that 2025?
That was earlier this year. Yeah, that was like January. Yeah,
that was a this year movie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What had I seen her in before that? I knew of, like, when I saw her in this, I'm like, oh, I recognize her from.
I know it's. Michaela's yelling at us right now.
Yeah,
I know.
She's on was it a television program or something?
Yellow Jackets. That's what she was in. Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett. Okay, so this is right up Michaela's alley. She's watching all these things. The Boogeyman from 2023.
I saw it. That's a bad one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that a new version?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not good.
All right. Heretic Companion, and her feature film debut was Prospect in 2018. Haven't seen that one, but Yellow Jackets is the big one that she's been doing. And
I haven't watched that, so maybe that's why I don't know that.
So the trivia is that she is actually a former Jehovah's Witness.
A former... Is that
or Mormon?
Mormon. She's a former Mormon.
Yeah, Mormon.
So was Chloe East.
Big difference.
Yeah.
So the two main female stars were both Mormons.
Where's Chloe East from?
Let's find out.
So it's a movie about it's not about Mormonism, but the two lead characters are Mormon missionaries.
Correct.
Yes. And the two actresses playing them
are former LDS.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. So
Chloe East, she appeared in early episodes of True Blood, the drama series Generation from 2021.
True Blood? Who the fuck was she in True Blood?
Early. A couple episodes, nothing major.
Okay, I was like, I do not remember her.
Significantly younger back then too.
Fablemans and Heretic, so she's sort of recent.
So who do they play, these pair?
They play Sister Barnes.
Which is that one?
And Sister Paxton. Mm-hmm. Sister Barnes is Sophie Thatcher.
Sophie Thatcher. Okay, this is going to be important for me to remember. Who's who? All right, and Barnes and Paxton.
Barnes and Paxton. That's and Chloe East was Paxton. Again, like you said, they're missionaries for the Mormon Church who have been. You get the list of people who said you were interested, and here we are to talk to you about it. And so they've been going house to house in the early parts of this movie, having interesting conversations about pornography and whatnot.
That was so funny.
Yeah, how spot on were the early conversations that seemed very innocent yet questioning and probing of these certain subjects. It's
very funny.
It seemed very funny. I
loved the entire opening, like cold open of this movie. Just like I loved the camera angles, the credits where they were talking.
The credits are very good.
They're very cool. Like corners, around the corners, like framing it, very cool. And then they're like sitting on a condom like bus bench ad. Like it's very funny, but their conversation, like you said, it's very innocent.
Yes,
and very like they're trying to find meaning in these subjects that they know nothing about. And it's like, that is exactly what young religious people are like.
Yes. So that means the God is
sweet
true.
and terrifying.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And
Sweet and terrifying.
The casting of Chloe East, Sophie Thatcher is, I think, very good.
I think they're both cast perfectly. Yeah.
Chloe East has that very that fumbling innocence that goes well with like a very young religious person still trying to figure out what she believes and the teachings of the church and trying to connect things that maybe shouldn't be connected.
She reminds me of that girl, and God help me, I can't remember her name. The very like innocent, sweet sounding girl from Jojo Rabbit, and
Thomas.
And
what was it?
Yes. What is her name?
From Soho.
From Last Night in Soho.
Thomason.
No, that's her character's name in The Witch. Anya Taylor-Joy.
No.
The other one.
The other one.
Oh, Thomas. Oh, okay.
This is Thomason McKenzie?
You started talking about her? Yeah.
From Old.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's who that girl reminds me of.
Yeah.
She's got that like sweetness to her.
Yes, and she'd be a good, like, if they didn't cast Chloe
They could have cast her.
They would have cast her, yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She's the other one. She's Anya Taylor-Joy, the other one who turns into Anya Taylor. I haven't seen the movie, but...
So
you've never seen that movie?
No, I didn't.
It's so good.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Oh my
God, that was on end of the year.
That was on all three of us that saw it was on our list.
Right. I'm going to add that as a last second panic pick. That might be good. I have a separate list that is last second panic pick.
Have you seen the clip of how they filmed the ballroom dancing scene where the girls like switch spots?
No, I've seen the behind the scenes. Them, yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The movie is beautiful.
Okay.
You gotta watch it.
I gotta watch it. That's Edgar Wright, right?
It is Edgar Wright, yeah.
Okay.
Gorgeous
movie.
movie.
Last thing he did before The Running Man?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Gorgeous movie. Anyway.
Okay.
But it positions, I guess, Sophie Thatcher's character as like she might be the one who has questions about her faith, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what we have: the true believer and the questioner, right?
Right. The one who was sort of, well, according to her, was brought in because they shopped around religions to see what made sense after her father died, I believe it was. So they didn't grow up in the religion. They chose it and went for it.
Sister Paxton, she grew up in it.
Right.
Paxton grew up in it. Barnes did not.
Okay. And so they've been sent out into the world to convert people to the religion.
Because this is standard practice for Mormons that when they hit like the age of 18 or whatever, they have to go out and do missionary work for a certain amount of time, like this service. Yeah.
Right. Missionary work is, you see that in a lot of religions. You see it in Christianity and Catholicism.
Yeah. I mean, I went on missionary trips when I was involved in what I was involved in.
So what were you involved in? So what's your background here?
Wait, let's first ask, how comfortable are you talking about?
I'll talk about it. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk about it.
I don't want to bring up any sort of subjects or anything.
It's all good.
I figured you far enough past it and have cemented your beliefs.
Different lifetime. Hard to believe it was the same lifetime. No, so I was technically in an Assemblies of God church.
Yes.
Which I was also in it was a cult, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it was a cult. Yeah. But it was marketed as like a discipleship, like an internship kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I paid to be in it.
Who doesn't love to be paid to be in an internship?
Definitely a cult. Very exploitative. It was not a good situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my background is this like Assemblies of God style cult within a church. Okay. Yeah.
So you came into this movie with thoughts.
You
have no religious background?
Me?
Yeah.
My grandparents, strict Catholics, pretty church every Sunday for as long as they lived.
I was saying strict Catholic.
I won't say strict Catholic. No.
So I was saying my grandpa went to church every Sunday too, but he also stole from the offering plate.
Well,
so.
Oh wow. Okay. So all right. So no.
Strict Catholic can be a loose term.
That's very true. They grew very Catholic, believed in all that. My mom and all of her siblings. She had 5 other siblings. Mm-hmm. 2 sisters and 3 brothers. So there's 6 of them all together. Went to school with the nuns.
Oh,
They went to Catholic school for a long time. They got beat with the rulers from the nuns and all that stuff. So they took us to church. They took us to Catholic church a lot, especially when we were visiting our grandparents and everything. So I have a Catholic church experience for a lot of my young life, maybe up until probably like 10 years old, I'll say, is as far as that went. So it got cut off pretty early. But I think that's the big experience in my life. And then maybe some in and out of Christianity a little bit as my life went on, but it never.
I think everyone has a point in life where like they have the one friend who like takes them to youth group or something like that kind of
we've
thing.
all been like, oh, yeah, we've all been,
I've been that friend.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're guilty.
I've been that friend.
Right. Where they like, no, come join us. We talk, and they don't tell you. Maybe it's a youth group. They're just like, no, we get together every now and again. We talk about
come
things.
hang out with my group of friends.
And we've all ended up in the haunted house that ends up in a how do you feel about Jesus at the end of it? We've all been to those.
That was
Colin. I don't think
that was me.
I've ever asked you about your religious experience growing up. You are coming from an Irish, I'm going to guess, Irish Catholic family.
No, actually, they were Protestant. Irish, very strict.
Okay.
And so then it was like, I remember evangelical.
Is this why you are the way you are? Because you've rebelled against it?
I mean, that's probably.
If you don't know, Colin wears long skirts and has long braids.
We all probably, at some point, like these experiences did shape the people that we are today. I think, obviously, this movie's trying to talk to some of that. It was evangelical for me for a while, and then Baptist. So that was probably until I was about 16 years old.
My grandpa.
And that was church twice on Sundays and once on Wednesday.
My grandpa was a Baptist preacher.
Oh, yeah?
I had a Baptist preacher grandpa and a Catholic grandpa that stole from the offering. So there you go.
My grandpa was part of the Catholic Church. I remember him wearing robes and baptizing some of the family and everything, but I got to ask my parents about that because I don't know what position he had in there, but he did have a position.
Deacon or something.
Maybe like a deacon or a bishop. It was Catholic Church?
Catholic Church, yeah.
Wow.
I don't. Oh shit! I gotta ask about that because I always remember that he baptized a few of us. Not me. I was never baptized
in the Catholic Church.
They never got me.
They got me.
I don't know if it's ceremonial. How far you can get in a ceremonial position in the Catholic Church, but it's
I think you probably have to be a member. You got to be baptized in order to be a member.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, like I said, they were into it. So I never asked those questions. I'm going to know.
Topics. For a heady movie,
because I didn't think you could do that kind of thing in the Catholic Church unless you were a priest.
Right, which is why I'm questioning it now.
Was he a priest?
No, he was not.
Wow.
Yeah, which is why.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Catholic Church.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure.
I stopped paying attention to it after a certain point.
I studied a little bit because after I left the cult, I studied everything, which is why this movie is for me. By the way,
right? Because after you're just like, all right, what does everybody else have to offer? Like,
this movie speaks to me in many ways.
Yes, and I think it speaks to me very much in other ways, but also similar ways. Yeah, it's very interesting. But no, I gotta ask those questions.
Yeah, I'm curious.
My grandpa. Yeah.
So what? Okay, so I mean, they end up at Hugh Grant's house.
Sure.
He invites them in. There's some customs associated with the Church of Latter-day Saints that they have to have a woman present. He says he's got his wife in the back room. And so they come in because it's a dark and stormy night, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he entices them with like, she's making blueberry pie. And we're sitting there going like,
don't do it.
There's no wife, and there's, and I think the trailer gave away.
Right, if the trailer hadn't said it, you'd be suspicious right off the bat.
There's no blueberry pie. It's a candle that smells like it. So, okay. So it's like the movie is kind of functioning, I guess, at this point as a suspense melodrama. We know he's up to no good. We just don't know what he wants, what the goal is, what's going on.
Yeah, what's his point?
He seems to be like going to he's very polite and charming.
Yep.
And deferential, like he's always not trying to be a physical threat to them.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's not too long, I think, before they realize that the door has locked and he says it will not open again until morning.
Yeah.
So they are trapped in this situation.
Right. His charm and the way he delivers the stuff would you call him disarming? Like he can be until he is very arming. I don't know. But to just dismiss so very easily, it's on a timed lock and won't open until morning. Like it's so very easily dismissed by him. That it's how it makes me it's very interesting to watch the main characters of the two women and how far it can go before they start questioning what's happening and what he can get away with, which is versus what they'll accept in a situation like this.
At this point in the movie, since we maybe you're suspecting that he's some kind of serial killer, or is this a supernatural movie? Does he have? Because
I did wonder if it would turn that way.
Why'd you think that at the beginning? Because what does he set up? Because he does in the first 20 minutes, I guess, set up. I guess what he's kind of after, or he teases the ending?
I only got to thinking supernatural when our prophet showed up later.
Oh, okay.
That's the only time I ever got to supernatural.
Well, he says like, because he's there, and it's like he wants to learn more about the church, but then it becomes very clear that he knows more.
Then he lets on.
Well,
off the beginning.
Yeah, I was going to say more than they do, but I don't know if that's an accurate characterization. But he has definitely studied their religion and is able to point out, like, here's your history.
Right.
He's studied.
Starts with the golden plate.
He has studied every religion. That's the point of this character. Is he has in depth searched high and low through history, texts, all religions.
And where did that lead him?
To the ultimate religion, one religion. Yeah.
Because he says every religion is saying they're the one religion. Right. He wanted to find it, and he says, "Unfortunately, I did."
And when I saw this in the theater, I saw this with Michaela, and I looked at her, and I was like, "The thing is, I know he's the bad guy, but he is making all of the points that I've ever wanted to make to people that are like sucked into the world of religion." Because this movie doesn't lie. Like, all of the research that he did about how religions just like steal from each other and how they're just versions of each other, iterations, is the whole theme of this movie. That's true.
Yes.
That is true.
The counterpoint is also true. It's the one, I guess that's the thing.
Well, before we get to that, but the way he presents it, which is because they want to, him and the filmmakers want to present this in a way that is clear to its audience and also illustrates his point very simply. Yeah. And he does it very well.
Is he sermonizing?
But 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So he's delivering a sermon. That's what we're getting here. He's lured them in so he can have a captive audience, so he can deliver the sermon. We just don't know.
Yes, it feels very much like a man wanted to speak, and so he had to lure women in to listen. Like, because he'd been arguing with himself, and he had needs to go to therapy. Like, maybe he could have got this out there, but another a thing that says you should all go to therapy. But yeah, his illustration of his point, I think, is. It works for him until we get we get counterpoints to it, but also it works to kind of get you on his side, depending on who you are and what you believe at this point going into this movie. It's a very good argument to get you to like his argument going into this.
Yeah, but this is what I wonder, to like, because I have read, reviews from like religious folks on the movie who actually do think that it presents like both sides of it. I'm like, I think the movie. Yeah. I think the movie leans one way in its beliefs more than the other, but it does, because it's always like the thing with like religious movies, especially when you're going after religion itself, you have to kind of thread it very carefully to like present, because she says, it's like, well, you're ignoring all of the glaring differences between these religions too.
Right, which is also another thing of religion, picking in, this is only my personal.
No, they all do. They pick and choose. They pick and choose every single one of them.
They want to, they want to promote, accentuate what their beliefs and all that stuff, and sort of ignoring all the stuff that doesn't back up what their beliefs are, what their whole system is based on.
And he uses a pretty like clever analogy, and this is basically the first half of the movie, right? Is him sermonizing
in his own little made church that he has in his house.
Did his wife actually build the church?
It's possible.
That was the one thing they said, who built the, he's like, my wife. And so then you go like, there is some kind of backstory to this guy.
That's the thing. This whole movie, I was waiting for like the story reveal of what happened to his wife and that whole thing, and they never touch it.
No, they never do.
I think that if you did, I think that is like the version 1 of this whole thing, and that his wife is the prophet at some point after he's done a lot to her. I think she may have built it, but I think it was a whole process of him, like maybe he agreed with her at some point, and then he started. In my mind,
it's that. But she was dying of like cancer or something, and maybe she herself had a near death experience, and then actually did die, and he wants to try to like recreate that.
Yeah, I think yes, that is. Yeah, I think it could be that. I think she definitely was. Her, like you said, her death is what.
Well, maybe made him question or lose his faith, but I don't know if it leads to, I don't know, maybe
there is a certain event that happened. We just don't know
we just
it. We're
never get
sure.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
we just never get
surprised we don't get it. Part of me's okay with it.
It's scarier that we don't.
It's
I like that we
it's
don't
scarier
get
that we don't.
this
Yeah,
is, because that just explains the monster. This is what made him this way. We don't
need the monster origin story.
Nah, don't want it.
Joker.
It's a movie that's
Halloween
supposed to
2007.
it's a movie that's supposed to be a pressure cooker,
Yes.
right? The girls are in a situation and they can't figure out how to get out. And there's that whole thing of how polite are you with the person who's keeping you
Hostage.
captive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far do you play along until you realize, like, does this have a terminal ending for me or
Right.
not?
Another thing that I don't think people like think about enough is that these girls felt uncomfortable pretty early on,
Yes.
but there is an element to them so wanting to convert somebody that they stick around.
Well,
Yeah.
There's an element of that.
because they're
We're
on
going
a
to get you a
mission.
baptism.
Yeah, but I
As
mean,
they
to
say.
them, that's like a good thing, right? They're trying to save the world. So they would do that. That's the way they see it.
And they would come up against resistance and want to continue forward.
Yeah.
Resistance is one thing, but
Right.
But it's
like they're
more-
ignoring some pretty glaring things that you can tell they're uncomfortable.
But that's
Of
like
course,
a human
yeah.
thing, I think. Like, there was a scene in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo remake that did that pretty well, where Blomquist goes to a door and like all he had to do was actually turn around, and he didn't because a person is polite, and it's like you kind of defer. You're afraid of offending them. The fear of offense
Right.
gets you to do things that you otherwise wouldn't do, even though you're like your alarm bells are going off.
Very true.
do guys do that?
I think, does everybody do that? I think
It seems like girls feel like they have to more than guys do.
What, as far as being polite in a
Yeah.
situation?
even
up
when
to-
the alarm bells are going
Yeah.
off. I mean, I think it depends on the
Up to-
situation, but yeah, I
it
think
does up to a
I think
certain
human
point.
beings are just fallible.
But
to
the
that.
alarm triggers are very different.
They're very
obviously
different, yeah.
for women and men, because we are. I mean, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
very different in as far as vulnerability and what women feel in certain situations, what men feel, and what they're used
It's
to.
risk assessment and like any
Right, but there's a lot of situations men would be perfectly fine in that women just
I've
wouldn't.
been in situations where I'm like, I see this, and this.
Oh,
and
no.
you don't. It's like we should probably go somewhere else.
Oh no, that's very true. Again, it depends on the person. Generalities,
Yeah.
men versus women.
But his analogy, I guess, uses the game of Monopoly. I think, right? First, he's talking about iterations of, well, I guess iteration itself as it applies to religion. He uses music
Yep.
and Monopoly to basically show how one game can become another one. That one's the one that's popular. And then it's, in each iteration of the song or the game robs the original of its true intent, I think he said, right? And then he uses like either Judaism, Christianity, and Islam
yeah.
as the big three out of whatever he said.
He's not really saying that it robs them of the.
Yeah, I know.
It's more just saying like no matter how many versions you have, it all goes back to the source material.
Right.
They're all borrowing from the same thing.
And
Yeah, it's
he's-
more just pulling from that thing.
And so he's looking for the one true religion. So
There are. Let's also for the Monopoly thing. There are also some very funny moments in this movie, like
Right,
when discussing these things. Like, and then we have Islam, and then when you put down the Monopoly Cheaters Edition or whatever it was, the new digital edition, everything.
Right. He's like, and now we have the Book of Mormon, and it's Bob Ross Monopoly.
Right. So there's a lot of the comparisons are done for they mean something, but there's levity in them.
Yeah.
Which is it's disarming for the audience because when he's making his point and everything. But there's a lot of very not obviously funny moments.
Yeah.
But situational.
It's the same
very
goddamn game. It's just marketed differently.
Right.
Yeah.
or the story, virgin birth, savior
Yeah.
born,
Yeah.
death
All
and
these-
resurrection,
all
the
these
latest
things.
version,
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 1,
funny. Yeah.
The Phantom Menace.
He's right.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And
It's the
these are
same
questions
stories that show up in all of these texts. They're all the fucking
Right.
same.
And so that it gets to the point where it's like, all right, so which one do I listen to? Do I listen to Islam or do I listen to Star Wars?
right.
So
We've all come to that situation at some point.
Obviously.
so this ends up because I guess the story advances from his parlor,
Yeah.
right? because there's something about the design of this house
Right.
also.
Because this whole time he keeps saying, like, you can leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
He says this the whole time, and they keep saying, well, how do we leave? Because your front door will not open.
And the room, we become aware, like after the fact, is like all the windows are so small that a person could not fit through them.
Do you believe they can leave whenever they want?
No.
Okay.
That's the point.
Right. Well, I think it's all, well, there's caveat based on his conditions, I think.
No, the whole point is I mean, we get to the true religion and he explains it.
No.
Yeah, because I guess that's what I'm curious, because there was a point in the movie where I felt it start to slip. Like it had a hold on me through this scene in the parlor and then into the chapel, right? It was just down a long, dark hall. We think it was like, what's in the back of his house? Do you have a kitchen? Where the hell? And you end up in this like chapel.
Yep. Pews and whatnot.
You know, like chapel / library, right? Where he, gives them this lesson on iteration of religion. So I think this is all to shake their faith.
Yeah.
That's the goal of this part of the movie is I'm going to shake your faith, right? So you're going to be receptive to this next thing that I'm going to do. And that involves him giving them like, well, you can leave. There's 2 doors. You have to go through the back of the house to get out.
Yes.
You know, and so Sophie Thatcher goes and checks out.
The only way out is through.
From Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's no way she's familiar with the movie Swamp Thing.
They do not know Swamp Thing.
But it gets name dropped in this movie.
What was
which
the
is
other one
ironic.
that I was just like, I agree with that?
It was
Spider-Man.
It was Spider-Man.
With great power comes great
But it was
responsibility.
actually
She's like, Spider-Man?
Voltaire.
Yeah.
Everyone would know Spider-Man. He might know Voltaire, yes.
So there's 2 doors, 2 ways out of this, which basically his, sermon culminates in, you're going to have a decision to make. Very important one. Whether you choose the door named belief or the other one, disbelief.
Yes.
And so this is a turning point for the girl. Sophie Thatcher, I believe, checks both out. And what does she find?
I love the way it's presented because she obviously, she makes... Does she make her argument before she opens that first door?
Yeah. No. I think she looks.
She looks first.
Okay. Yeah, she opens that first door of belief.
Yeah.
She opens the first door of belief, and
I think she looks down the doors before he even gives the speech on belief or disbelief.
Yeah.
She looks down both and sees that each one
before he writes it on there.
Each one goes downstairs.
You're right.
And he makes the argument. Oh well, you saw my house is on a cliff. Like you have to go downstairs to go out.
Right.
It's on a hill.
Yeah.
From a filmmaking perspective, I love that when she goes to that first door and opens it up,
we don't see what she sees.
And we don't see what she sees.
Yeah.
We just see the reaction and that single tear that goes down, and you're just like, oh shit, we're in for something.
I love that.
Love
That's
it.
great.
It's such good filmmaking.
There's a lot of really good filmmaking, and at least up till now in the movie, and maybe afterwards. But the angles, because it is like they internalize where the audience would be. Right. They know where the audience is thinking because, I think that's a hard thing to do when you, the writer, knows where the story's going. You know if there's a threat here or not, but you have to think like, what does the character think at this moment? Oh. So we're kind of still like, okay, he clearly has some kind of design, right? But we're still not sure what that is. And it now appears that like, so you can leave, you can exit through either of these doors, but it looks like they go down into what could be a basement. So you go down there.
Right. Okay.
There's a chance you're not coming out. This is the serial killer basement.
When you first saw this, the presentation of 2 doors, did you automatically think they led to the same place, no matter what they were on the door?
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just like, it doesn't matter which one his game will further no matter which door they go down, and they will end up in the same place.
Well, because like you said, the doors, one says belief, one says disbelief, and the whole thing is like you have to choose. Are you choosing your faith, or are you choosing the fact that someone just lied to you your whole life and you just chose to accept it?
Right.
Oh, the illustration was good.
Yeah.
Like you came in because I told you I had a wife.
Oh, his illustrations of all of this is very good.
Yeah,
it's like,
because he talks about because he talks about those things.
Like, is it because someone told you?
Right, what you're presented at a young age, and just because this is what people told you, that's why you believe it. And if you're, but do you believe this just because this is the only thing that I've told you? I love this logic that you go around because, like, all right, is this the only reason? Because personally, I believe it is.
Yeah,
like you are presented with these things, and if you don't know anything else, this is what you will believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of this movie, he's not wrong.
A lot of this movie, he's not wrong, which is what makes for a good villain.
Yeah.
So they knew exactly what they were doing when they were writing this character.
Yeah.
God bless him for Hugh Grant to do it.
From the get-go, I was like, I know this guy's the villain, but I want to sit down and have a talk with him.
Right.
Well, and unfortunately, he has, like, we got to determine, like, what his end goal is.
What is his goal is, and at what point are you going to be like, okay, I don't agree with this? Maybe it's the murder.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the murder.
You're assuming, I guess, at this point that these girls are walking further into a trap, right? This whole thing is a trap.
Okay, but did you think that the ultimate end of the trap was going to be their death, or do you think that if they somehow, which may be impossible, went through, if he was able to manipulate them into believing or making the decisions that he wanted them to make, do you think they would have ever have been able to leave this place?
No.
I didn't think so, because I guess you're thinking, like, if they leave, he goes to jail.
Right.
So then I guess,
so that is,
but that's possible.
Always in your head.
It's like, because we're still trying to figure out what he's after. Like, if he is,
but he might want
trying to
going to jail if he knows he's.
Here's
if he was able to somehow convince them to see the world his way, he would have succeeded, and then he could go to jail because he's accomplished his. Like, they could do something like that. So it's possible, but I thought this is leading to, they're not coming out of this. So part of his thing ends up with them dead. Yeah.
Dead or in a cage. What
were we going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, like, his whole thing as we start to learn, it's all about control, right? Yes. Like, that's what we eventually
get to.
That's what we get to. And I think he wants them to ask questions and he wants them to challenge him. But if there's ever a time that, like, they got him, he's not going to let them go.
No, he would flip it. Yes.
He would flip it. Absolutely. So I don't think there's any scenario that he was going to let them go.
Yeah.
Because it goes against the true religion.
Right. Which is control. But he wouldn't want to be ultimately wrong in the end.
No, he wouldn't be wrong.
It's not that character.
He wouldn't be wrong. Because, like, there's a moment that she did challenge him, and he basically just, like, sat down and started whittling his little figures. Yeah. Because he was like, I'm not going to be got. But so he was, like, pouting.
He does pout a little bit.
Yeah, he was, like, pouting. Like, he's not going to, like, let them go because he's challenged.
No, and because he thinks he's right. And he's found a way to play God in his own way.
Yeah. That's what it is. He is assuming the position of God because he thinks that God's ultimate control.
Yes,
is the power. That's the power.
Right. He has figured out, or he thinks he has figured out, and he has adopted that as, like, all right, if it is this, then I will be God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's essentially like, all these other religions, this is what they did.
Right. He has boiled down every other religion to this.
Yeah.
And so he has decided to
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
That's not what they, the religions will tell you it's about universal love and, all this other stuff.
Yeah, they will.
But we're saying within the movie, like, that is the thesis of the movie, is that he has found, like, this is
okay, just in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Well, okay, we're not going to offend everybody out there who's actually religious.
We'll compartmentalize and just leave it to the movie.
So, this is at the point at the door that I think Sophie Thatcher, like, actually has, like, kind of because at this point it's like it's just these two poor girls and this the monster, right? But at this point she actually starts I guess, like, asserting herself in some way. It's like, okay,
challenging him. Yes. Yeah, especially when she talks later about what they should do, but question him, challenge him, ask why, go up against him, because that is how you will I don't know, put a chink in his armor at some point of something.
They're trying. They're trying to trip him up.
Yeah,
because they've stolen a weapon, a letter opener, right? And so the goal is that by getting him off his
magic
game,
underwear, this motherfucker.
Yeah. What's the joke? What is that?
Well, Mormons. There's the whole thing about magic underwear. I don't know the deep religious impacts of it. It's
like somehow you can have sex with your underwear on because that's like a magic barrier that prevents you from getting pregnant or something to that effect. It's so they can have sex without having sex.
Okay, all right. I never knew what it was because I know it's been brought up a few times, but I never knew what it was. But yeah, that is their safe word for the attack. They unfortunately don't get there.
So they've got a weapon.
Do they get that? This all happens after we get the prophet, though. We can't forget the prophet.
Well, they get the letter opener. They steal the letter opener and they head down into the basement. They also choose she gives an impassioned reason why we should choose belief, because it doesn't matter what we choose. This is a test. He's watching us to see what we do.
Right.
Which I don't know if I agree with that. Is he really curious about like their behavior?
Oh, I think he definitely is.
If you're sermonizing
whether it matters
to somebody,
to what he's doing, I don't know if it does, but he's definitely curious about what they will choose.
Mm-hmm.
So then I guess the question, because I guess that's what I had going into the second half of the movie was, his objective. I think we know what his objective was, having seen the movie, right? But I was like trying to suss out like, does he want them to acknowledge that he's right? Is that the big like thing that, or to somehow shatter their belief system so much as like that's his control? He's going to totally break them down and destroy their faith.
If he can gain them as followers, he has proven his point about religion.
Right, but he would have to completely break them down in order for that to happen, because he wouldn't believe them if they just said, "We believe you."
Because they try that.
Right.
She's like, "You're very nice. We've learned a lot. Thank you for teaching us." And he's like, you're fucking scared.
Right. So no, his goal is to absolutely break them down.
Yeah.
In order if they die in the process, I think that is okay with him, but he will go that far. And if they end up believing him out of all of that, he will take it. But I don't know if he's expecting that. Okay. I think he's gone through this. Well, obviously, yes. He's gone through this a few times.
So they go down into the basement, and what do they find?
It's a dungeon, basically. There's water dripping from a hole in the ceiling, which
it's cavernous. I mean, it's not like underneath a house. This is like several stories tall.
Right. If you looked at the backyard, you'd see a peak in the roof with a glass top, and you were like, "Oh, it's like below that," and it's the fucking basement.
It's almost like an abandoned bunker.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Because it's like stone walls, but it's clearly underground in rock formations of some sort.
Yeah.
There's a skylight. There's like one table, one chair, and then there's like the two, stairways coming from his chapel,
and then one pipe that will eventually hear sound and music coming from.
Yeah.
And then eventually prophet.
And so a new character is introduced into the movie.
Right, which is very interesting because we've been with only these three characters for a long time. And so an introduction of a new character is just like, okay, this could mean a lot to the movie.
We do have one other character. It's Topher Grace.
We do. Right. Do they know Topher Grace?
Yeah, he's the elder at the church. And
the filmmaker is like how he got into this role for this movie.
I don't know. I think it's perfect casting. He looks like a Mormon.
Yes, and if
he just has that look,
right? And if you can get a person who that or that your audience knows, it puts into their head maybe he comes back later to save the day.
Right.
You always get that element if it's a known actor instead of just a nobody.
He's like the sheriff in Misery in this kind of.
But basically,
I mean, it's like I said it's a pressure cooker movie, but it keeps cutting away to show the elders at the church. They haven't returned. Yep. So he's going to go out looking for them. And so we see him, going door to door following, because they had a list.
They had a list of people they were going to talk to. Yeah.
I think the Church of Latter-day Saints put out a thing after this movie came out, like, saying where it was wrong about its, like, the safety.
Right.
The
we do a lot to make sure people are secure going down.
Yeah, they're like, we do this and we do that. Okay, it's a movie. So he's out and he comes to... Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves because we need to talk about the prophet first.
Right.
And then we'll tie in Topher Grace.
Mm-hmm.
So the women are in the basement. They are trying, they're trapped in there, so they are looking for a way out. They look for a way up the other staircase, which they saw, which has a door and everything. They don't get too far on that. And they find this pipe. I don't know where they go from that before. Well, it's not too long after where a woman starts shambling in, covered in cloth.
Looking like a mummy.
Looking like a mummy or a monk.
Burqa or something like that. Like
any ghost in a 2010s on horror movie is basically what she looks like. Which is why I thought we were getting supernatural or we could go there.
Because he's still talking about, I found the one true religion. You're going to go down in the basement. You're going to find the one true religion. And then there's this shambling woman who contorts herself into like a
religious pose.
Yeah, of like supplication on the floor.
It truly is.
Her like tendons are snapping as she does it. And then I believe she has a blueberry pie.
Yes, she has delivered a blueberry pie to the table.
And she sits down and then starts eating it. Mm-hmm. And she looks emaciated and stringy black hair and creepy looking.
Yeah.
And Hugh Grant over the intercom tube or whatever he's using to talk to them down there.
Yeah, it's one of those playground metal pipe tubes. That
you talk to each other. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But what does he? So what does he say? Is what's going on here?
He says, what you're witnessing is this is an actual prophet. I have found the true religion. This is an actual prophet.
Someone who's communed with God.
Yeah, someone who's communed with God, and you are going to witness a miracle tonight.
Yep.
And he says this is an ordinary blueberry. He's like an ordinary blueberry pie. It's sugar, flour, butter, blueberries. But it's also got wolfsbane and belladonna. So once she consumes this pie, she will be dead.
And we watch as the woman apparently croaks and goes face down into the pie.
I was waiting for that whole like
thunk.
that thunk head into the pie thing. Like, it's coming.
So now it's like he's saying,
he's like check her pulse. I want both of you to check her pulse, check her breath, make sure she's really dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they do, and they confirm, no, she's dead. Yeah.
And I believe it is this point when Topher Grace...
The doorbell rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Hugh Grant has to go and answer the door.
Yeah.
And it proves that he had been lying, that he is able to unlock the door.
Right.
Yes.
I like that he's got like that little gizmo in the light switch or whatever.
Yeah.
So he has designed this whole house and been building it for years for this purpose. I think
for entrapment.
We see like he's built a model of the house.
Yes. Which comes into play very later on in the movie in a very cool visual effect.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was very good.
Oh, when she's running and
when you see her running up the steps, it pulls out to her in the model.
Yeah.
Going up the right part and then
they
up
cut to her coming through the door. It's a good it's very cool. So Topher's looking for them.
Topher's looking for him in his very Mormon looking ways.
Yeah.
But he's able to, Hugh Grant is able to diffuse the suspicion.
Right.
They never came here. I'm sorry, I'd help you.
And at this point, and I'm sure the rest of the audience is thinking their bikes are out front.
Yep.
Yes, I said it out
loud.
Their
bikes are out
while
front.
Watching the movie, I'm like, what about the bikes?
Yeah, that's what's going to give it away because they were talking about how they needed to get the key that was in the coat that they gave him
to get to the
bikes so they were going to run out. And they're like, shit, he's got our coats.
In a pocket that it wasn't supposed to be in earlier on in the movie, which we'll get to.
Implying that he has found the key.
Filmmakers know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's no coincidence, no mistake in how they've constructed
it's all
this
very
movie.
well thought out.
It's all very well thought
so
out. Because they know exactly what the audience will... That's a great filmmaker. And the audience will think this at this point, and then we can swerve and do this. And all that.
Well, I was wondering, I guess...
But he does come back!
I guess I thought it was raining outside, and so...
It started snowing.
There was a point in time when Hugh Grant leaves for a very long time, and in hindsight, you're like, well, he took the key, went out, moved the bikes, like right away, and got the lock off the bike lock.
Yeah.
and then put the key in the wrong pocket, and then the girls find it later, and they're like, "What the?" But he never comes back like wet or,
not
noticeable to the audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it was storming outside, so but he's got
it did
coats.
end up. It changed to snowing at a certain point, which is less moisture who he would come back with. But yes.
So,
Topher Grace does come back at a certain point. He's like,
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. Have you been given this pamphlet? Like, Jesus Christ. Come on, Topher.
It's so good. It's so good. I would only have, as an editor, I may have moved it up a little bit sooner as far as him coming back to the door to do it. But as far as timing-wise and what
it's
I
the
felt...
idea of...
Right.
Because you think, like, the sheriff in Misery, he's going to come back and
you
then
think he's
Hugh
going to come
Grant's
and
gonna kill
ask
him.
about the bikes.
I would have how I would have changed it. You would have seen Topher walk to the end to the gate and stop and then turn around as if he saw the bikes.
If he saw the bikes.
That's how I would have done
shot
it.
where he's coming to the gate, but then it's a little too long.
Yeah.
Well, it
until he
pans
comes
back and you see the bikes aren't there. And on that pullout, they're not locked to it anymore. So, like, they give it away.
Right. Well, they are, but you don't. But your mind, or this is me, your mind doesn't remember if they were locked right to the gate or because it's the same camera move. So you're like, if it goes
the bikes
back,
were there before.
Right. But you forget that. And so you're like, if the camera goes a little further, the bike's going to be there because you see the gate, and when they're not there.
Because we see the gate, but they weren't directly on the gate. That's how they got in. They're off to the side.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I thought in that shot,
No.
saw the lot.
Well, let's put it this way: the camera pushes in enough where we get that outline of the gate, and we don't see the bikes, and we see everything in front of it.
Okay.
So you kind of get that image of the gate and everything without the bikes there after it pushes in, where it feels like if you came back out of it, if you went a little farther, maybe the bikes would still be there. The question we'll just say the filmmakers are very good at what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So, they take the girls take this opportunity to try and get a pack of matches.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've tried to find out. I guess there's another hidden door in the stairway that they try to get through, but it won't open.
Door that won't open.
Yeah.
They don't know how to open it.
But they're able to get some matches.
They're pulling on this rug all wrong.
Yeah.
Can I just say that? They're grabbing it in bits and pieces. Like, just grab it and you don't have to pull quick, but just pull the whole goddamn thing.
Right. Like, once they have a little slack, just pull.
Pull it.
Yeah.
Get the matches there.
Yeah.
But they're just like
And their
clawing at it.
idea is that they're going to light a fire and then
Smoke out the
send it up the tube.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do it enough where they kill themselves at this point. But they end up trying to light the fire down in the dungeon. I would have tried to light that carpet on fire and shove it back into the room. But what do I know? I've never been trapped in a basement until now. I mean, Colin, we good?
I mean, you can come down.
There's a couple secret doors down here. I'm not gonna lie. Are we good?
He says we can leave anytime. I don't know if I believe
Right,
it.
I was gonna say the top of his house is far more
What do
spacious
you
than this
believe?
basement.
Is the question.
I believe I'm gonna be able to leave here on my own.
I know, it's kind of funny, right? You came down here thinking that you were going to be able to leave on your own.
I came down here with one thought: will I be able to leave with that same thought?
Didn't doubt it at all.
For the last 13 years, haven't doubted it one bit. If Colin went nuts tonight, all right.
But you've always been here.
If Colin went nuts tonight and killed us all, I'd be like, all right, you played the long game. You got us. You deserve it.
You got it.
Sorry.
You got us.
Well,
sneaky bastard.
something happens when they return to the cellar.
Right. They return.
Well, actually, Paxton notices something.
Paxton, when they get back downstairs after Hugh Grant's come back to the room and they have to back away from the rug, they go back down and Paxton looks over and notices she says she moved.
Yes.
The prophet who had been dead at the table, she said she moved.
Yeah.
Barnes is like, no, just help me and just focus. And she's like, no, I'm telling you, she moved.
And shortly thereafter, as they're trying to light this match, she does move.
Yeah, we see a shot with the blurred table in the background that is now empty.
Yep.
There's no one sitting there. And then it pans around and the prophet is directly behind Paxton.
Yep.
And it's very creepy and I like it.
Very creepy, very good.
Very
and then
yeah.
delivers a prophecy.
Yep. A vision of the afterlife.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't quite hear.
I couldn't quite hear, but I thought that there was some personal detail, possibly about Sophie Thatcher's father or something, because I'm like, well, that would make sense. And it turns out, from what we learn later, I'm like, it's probably something specific that they would recognize, although I didn't catch in the audio mix what you said.
Right, but especially him knowing everything he does know about that, he can write it as is thought later.
And the woman delivers something all whispered and horsey. It's like it's something and something.
It's like it's the clouds, but not heaven, and this isn't real.
Yeah, and says shh.
Yeah.
And then Hugh Grant comes in, and he's like, "Okay, now we got to take you away, and we'll record this for the book, and this is going to be." And then he wants.
She came back to life.
And he's like, "I brought you down here because you wouldn't have stayed if I had just told you what this was. But now that you've seen it, I need your recollection of what happened.
Right.
Tell me." And he's so excited.
He wants them to be witnesses.
He's got his little notebook
to a miracle.
I thought, which is a great little thing to it. Just like, oh, please tell me everything you thought. He's flipping pages over. He's like, ready to write it down and everything, because he's gathering information to write his thesis and, further cement his knowledge of what he's figured out.
But knowing what we know about him, that's not what he's doing at all, right? That whole thing was to get the woman out of the room as fast as possible because apparently she went off script. So I guess at this point,
right, because you want to know what to ask next. Like, do you think he's thinking this? What is he trying to do versus what is the filmmakers trying to make us think he's trying to do?
Well, he's trying to convince them that they saw a miracle.
Yes.
And again, I'm like, okay, but where does this go? What do you want? I mean, is he just trying to like, look, I made you believe in all this crazy stuff and now I'm going to kill you? Or it seems like he's positioning this as, down here in this cellar, I have this prophet. She cannot die. If you kill her, she will come back to life. This is resurrection. You can experience this too.
Yes.
Which Sophie Thatcher is like, I was wondering when you were going to get to the point where you were going to make killing ourselves feel like our idea.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that one got me.
It was good.
I was just like,
it was good.
Because the whole thing about doing something to someone but making them think it was their idea, and just that whole...
They will wake up in the afterlife. And so we learn, of course, Sophie Thatcher is like trying to distract him so she can use the magic word and tell Paxton to stab him in the neck with the letter opener.
Yep.
But surprise!
She gets slashed in the neck.
By him, he kills.
He's got his magic box cutter. She tries to go for the magic underwear is the secret word, the password, in which Paxton will stab him in the neck with a letter opener that they have in order to get away. But before, as she's saying,
because it's like he's anticipated even this.
Yeah,
because he had to also
but he's been through this a lot. It would seem.
So he cuts her throat, Sophie Thatcher's throat, and she's bleeding out all over the place. And then he is like, don't worry, she's going to come back to life. So, he's like posing with her corpse and be like, no, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
She's going to come back. You watch, any minute now.
Yeah.
And then, because there was this whole thing with the match and why she couldn't light the match. And
what was the one? The light dimmed versus one versus the other. What was he trying? I don't understand.
Because he had clued in on early in the movie. There was a scene where he noticed the scar.
Her scar.
On her
on her
arm.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yes.
And so he cuts her arm open and goes digging for it and pulls out what we know is like a contraceptive, but
which Holly had to explain to me because I didn't know this was a thing.
Well, I thought it was an older thing than, like how old these girls are, 20. Are they still doing this?
I mean, they still do like IUDs. They still
IUDs. IUDs. I know, but as far as where they're located, I didn't know in the arm. It would be a thing.
It can be.
Okay, because this came out of left field for me. I didn't know there would, like you said, it doesn't matter where it is as long as it reaches the brain and,
Yeah, it's a hormone thing. So
right, as long as it's able to reach the bloodstream and do all that. So I just didn't know the arm was a option for it. So this came, I was like, what? Huh? But he pulls out a small 9-inch nail from her arm, basically, which is what it looked like.
Yeah.
But it's an IUD of some sort, and he uses that which is the other thing he does. He uses that as an excuse as to why she won't come back to life.
Yeah.
Well, because he's playing on the idea that the other girl, being the innocent
naive,
Mormon,
right,
wouldn't know what this is. So he's like, this is an implant. She's not a real person.
Right.
That's why she won't come back. But you'll
come back.
Die and come back.
But it also lends itself to every religious person who has predicted an apocalypse. 2012 or do you remember back in the time where every year just like the apocalypse will happen now, 2012, we're waiting for it, and then it passes, and then they come up with some excuse as to why it didn't happen.
Oh yeah,
this is that
same. It's conspiracy theory, fanatic religion.
Like,
it's all.
Oh, it didn't happen.
All
well,
of
here's
them.
the reason why it didn't happen, and the excuses that they make for this stuff. Like it all fits.
There's always an explanation.
There's always an explanation.
Or sometimes is there, because I mean a lot of times you take things on faith. I guess that's the thing that they prey on.
Yep.
Predatory like religious organizations and people. So the
she got her throat slashed. She should be dead.
But
right?
Paxton,
right?
She is.
Yeah, I think he losing that much blood. But Paxton does recognize what that is, and so she begins to explain to the audience, I guess, like what has gone on here. Yeah. Here's my alternate, because it's almost like at this point it becomes like a debate over. Because they're tossing around like theory and hypothesis, and so this is the language of science. Now to explain this miracle, she's like, I know I didn't experience a miracle. I can't maybe articulate why.
Yeah, well, because before she died, what Barnes was saying, what we saw here, this wasn't a miracle. This was a magic trick.
Yeah,
and so I think in her explaining that. I think that led to Paxton listening and saying, oh, and starting to see it for herself.
This is how you would do it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have evidence of it, but this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
So what?
So that's better. Cool. Well, during this part, I always question how Paxton became... It almost seems like she becomes more knowledgeable than the character was presented at the very beginning. Like I didn't expect this from her.
I didn't.
It doesn't
either.
seem like it should.
It seems out of character.
It is out of character
because she seems like she should be. And I think movies like this, like I always think people in these situations will have so much adrenaline flushing through their system that you can't think straight.
Yeah,
and she does some removable logical
it feels
reasoning.
Very remarkable
at this point, which it's a miracle
for what's
No, I think it's out of character for sure, and I think it's way too self-aware for how they set her up in the beginning.
Yeah,
but I do think she's picked up on what Barnes was saying, and I think she's running with that, and
the skeptic,
and she's thinking, okay, and she's finally starting to think logically.
Yeah.
She's starting to think like, okay, what can I actually put together here?
Right.
Because I mean, there is an adrenaline thing, but there's also she's in survival mode.
Yeah,
she is.
So I think there's an element of believability in those factors.
Yes. So
even though it's out of character, I'm not going to argue that.
We're also in a 2-hour movie. We gotta keep going this way. So
and honestly, it's interesting. So I'm going to go with it.
Right. That's not as long it is interesting. It's just okay,
I'm interested.
Good. Yeah, let's see where this goes. Go.
She's self-aware. Let's do it.
So what does she intuit then? What happened?
So she is saying that the prophet went off script, that he gave the prophet a script of what to say to them, of what she saw.
Right.
That this is not the same person, that he switched the bodies. The first prophet did die, and he switched that body with some, the living prophet came out and switched with the body.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
Because there is not many flaws that I'd like to point out in this movie, but this feels like one of them as far as where did the body go? Where'd the body go?
Well, we know
where the body went.
Well, all right, so tell me.
Okay, so
she dumped it down the hole that's directly underneath the
did
table.
she though? Is she because when she figures out that that's where it went, according to her, she had to dig it up.
Yep.
That would all be present and available and not buried under dirt, and the sound of it and the time it would take to pick that body up. move that table, maybe open that hatch, get that body down there, come back up, be at the table. It doesn't.
Well, she also says there has to be another way in here. I thought that little room that they found locked off the stairway was where the other women were, or this woman was.
Okay. That, to me, made more sense as to where she would have taken the body and then replaced her, not the hatch at the bottom.
But you couldn't do it that fast. So it turns out there's a hatch. So then I'm like, did she move the table that the other dead woman was on to
like
get...
not believable.
I know there's a lot. I guess that's the thing I had with this movie. I guess in this, like the second half started to feel longer and drawn out. Like we weren't getting to what he was after fast. It's like it paused for this whole magic trick thing. And it's like, okay. I mean, I guess I get it in hindsight where he's going.
Yeah.
He is going to show you where you're going to end up. These are the true believers. These are the women who came here before you, right? The ones that didn't die, the other missionaries, I assume they are, right? He's been doing this for years then. He's not... This is his kick, is to just exert the power. He's a psychopath.
If not missionaries, it could be regular people who come to his door. And he can still have the philosophical. You could maybe they don't get to the conversation may not get as far as the missionaries do, because how often are you going to like get missionaries coming to your door?
I think, but even this, it wasn't happenstance. He requested them to come there,
right? So he had just doing it from different churches, but also, and this is something that that you can't think about in order for the movie to make sense. But like, shouldn't people notice people missing from different churches and all that stuff?
And
but again,
the timing
that's not
of
the point
Topher
of the movie.
Grace's arrival had to happen at that very moment. We do see him writing down times. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're going to say based on his times that he's done this before, he's figured out pretty much the time range.
Where he is, it's like, oh, they got to this. They got to this at 8:09 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll compare this later to who got there quicker.
But then he never seems hurried or worried or looking at a clock or anything like that. It's like... It starts to beggar belief, I guess, at this point.
A little bit.
Like,
that's might be my only problem at this point in the movie,
But eventually...
I mean, comparatively to things that we've watched in this basement.
Right.
Fine.
So she heads down into the
we can't
cellar.
do that. We're taking that as a...
Nah.
Well, she goes down into the... Because he's like, well, you know, if your theory is right, then there'd be a dead woman down that hole. And like, how are you going to find out? And so it's like, well, I'm going to have to go down there. And like, why? Because I have to know the truth. Right? The Vanishing comes to mind. That's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
So you have to know the truth regardless. So down into the basement she goes, and what does she find down there?
She sees the body of the dead prophet. And she looks back up and she's like, I was right.
Yep.
And he's like, you were. Clank.
Yeah, clank.
So she wanders through the dank, dark basement, which is creepy horror movie. And it does seem like down here you have horror movie set design with all these like arcane religious symbols, black magic and voodoo and, you know, all this.
Everything,
everywhere.
Yeah.
A mix of it until she finally reaches a door that is sealed with their bike lock.
The bike lock.
Question before we get to the bike lock. What do you make of everything she goes through before she gets to the bike lock?
He's studied everything, and it's just relics and artifacts and stuff he's studied.
Build these rooms?
But why is it there?
It's scarier if it's in the dank, dark
Obviously,
dungeon.
right. For set design, I understand.
Yeah, this is where you go to do your voodoo ritual if you're going to try it out.
But did he do all of this?
Yeah.
He built all of this over the years?
Who else? I mean...
No, I don't disagree, but I'm just like, is that our only thoughts? Is that he just...
Unless he found a guy, you know, he built on top of a, he built his house on top of a...
Unless he searched it out.
I think he bought a property with a bunker.
He might be right. He did his research and bought an old religious facility that had some of these places in it, maybe. Or
I mean, I think it was as simple as he bought an old house that had like a Cold War bunker,
and then just did all that.
And he just like threw stuff down there.
Different religions, because it's Mormons for this one.
Yeah.
Maybe he did this with different religions and
That's what I think.
set up those stations. Leading up to that.
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
And so,
I mean, he does like pageantry.
He does. And this guy's got time. It would appear.
Yeah.
He's apparently independently rich.
Yeah.
And is able to do all this. But yeah.
And so when Paxton opens the door, she finds this is like the keeping room where he has all these cages. He's keeping these women like
he keeps
dogs.
His profits, apparently.
Yeah, but I think they were originally missionaries like her. I think this is showing you where she is eventually going to end up.
Yeah.
Right.
These are the ones that Like he said, they chose to be there. I think they believed his miracle.
Okay. Yeah.
And then he just kept them.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, it doesn't seem to matter. No matter which way you choose, believe it or don't, you are going to end up.
Eventually, you will die.
Yeah, it's not good.
And he'll brainwash you and interrogate you and drug you maybe and make you crazy until
and make you believe
do exactly what he says.
His
thing. You will do this pageantry, which you've seen before, and this is your time to die.
Yeah.
So then I had to jump out and take a phone call. I have seen this movie before, but you're going to have to remind me.
Right, so she finds this like dungeon, these cages of women, and he says, "So have you figured it out?" And she said, "I think I have. The ultimate religion is control." And he's like, "You are exactly right. All of it comes to this. They chose to be here, and it's all about control. Every single religion, it's all an iteration of the same thing."
Were you disappointed by this denouement?
Not at all.
No, it was also very I found it, the symbolism of everything they do has a certain amount of symbolism. The fact that he's watering them.
He's watering with a watering can, with an actual watering can. So he's trimming their nails and then just casually trims off a finger.
Yes. It's so like the purposefulness of what he's doing to these women.
He's like, these are my sheep.
Right. I am growing them to be something,
They will be my sacrificial lambs.
Yeah.
So I can do this just over and over and over again.
Yeah. The proof is right there in the room that he can do this.
I know, but I guess like once you've done it, I mean, I don't know. It takes him into the area of just like movie psychopath, then, right? Like he is. It's more just psychopath.
But
he's looking for someone who will challenge him, but ultimately no one will ever be able to prove him wrong.
If you've ever,
it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. They will never be able.
How are you going to prove him wrong?
Yeah, that's it.
It all have control.
It all falls in line. If you've ever studied like organized religion, cults, all of that, all of like the fanatical cult leaders, this is what they do.
Yeah.
He's not wrong when he says the ultimate religion is control.
Yep.
That's what they all do.
That's what they all do. That's
Every
what it all ends up
sociopath, psychopath, like they all want control. And it doesn't matter if it's the same thing over and over again. That's their power. That's their power.
That's their thrill.
Yeah. So he's not, again, he's insane, but he's not wrong.
Right.
Which is why it's terrifying.
So how does she survive? I mean, I guess the thing is, it seems pretty dark.
Through contrivance of the movie is how she survives, which I disagree with.
I think you're wrong. So
all right. I'm all for that. Okay, go.
Yeah. So in speaking to her, he again says the magic safe word, which is magic underwear, and in that moment, she actually uses the letter opener that they've had the whole time, and stabs him in the neck, and runs upstairs. She does get out of the dungeon, but then realizes that she can't get out.
Yeah. Where'd she get to?
She finds the little side room.
She finds the little side. She runs around a little bit. She finds the little side room.
And then she eventually gets out of. She has to go back down. What's she looking for?
She gets into the pews in his little church and everything, but she has to go back.
Why did she go back downstairs? I don't remember. Is it just because she can't get out?
I was upstairs.
I got him.
I missed it.
I think it's she just can't find a way out.
Yeah, she can't find a way out, so she goes.
So she goes back downstairs to look for. I think she's just looking for something to get out. Because she's trapped in the chapel room. She can't find a way out.
I'm trying to figure out how we.
Because ultimately he was right.
Yeah,
you go out through the basement. You have to go up, past the women, right? And then there's a door that she gets out through.
No, she goes out through a window. But she has to just go back down because she's looking for something. But when she gets back down there,
the village moment. Where Joaquin Phoenix gets stabbed in the stomach.
Yeah, she goes back down there and realizes that the trapdoor is still open, and he turns around and Hugh Grant is there and he stabs her in the stomach.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we have this moment.
Like, oh shit! She's gonna die.
She's dying.
She's stabbed in the stomach. He's stabbed in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot because she goes into a sermon or
she just like
power of prayer.
she just like falls against the wall, and he's also dying because he's bleeding out through the neck, and he says pray for us, and she says prayer doesn't work. She's like, there's been studies that there's two groups of people that were dying, one was prayed for, one wasn't. It proved prayer doesn't work. She's like, but I think it's beautiful that we pray for each other, that we take that moment to think of someone else.
Right.
And so even you. So he like crawls over to her, and she's like praying
lays on her chest.
And she's like praying for the both of them as they're dying together. Mm-hmm. And then he like leans up, he's going to like stab her in the neck to actually kill her.
Yeah.
And he gets bashed in the head with a nail board.
By Sophie Thatcher. Who is miraculously alive.
I don't like this.
Okay.
But
it might not matter.
Okay. She's not actually alive.
Right.
She dies praying for him.
You think everyone's just done right there.
She's dying as she's praying for him. And remember when they said earlier that when you're dying, your brain is firing off these unbelievable images. Yeah. Her being alive and killing with the board didn't actually happen.
Because that's solidified by the butterfly.
The butterfly.
Because there's a story early where she tells Barnes that, like, when I die, I'm going to come back as a butterfly, land on the hand of someone, specifically the hand, so they know it's me.
Her going out the window,
didn't happen.
Going to the field, butterfly on her finger,
didn't happen.
None of it happened. She's dying.
She's dead.
They all die in the basement together.
I like that. I don't like it, but I like it.
That's why I was like, don't worry, Sean, it didn't happen that way. I got you.
Let's all grasp hands and pray.
No.
Ambiguous ending.
I liked it.
No, I like that ending.
Okay,
I just didn't. You didn't come to me.
Okay.
Well,
at that moment, but no, I like that because no one should get out of this alive,
and they don't.
Good.
Yeah. And I think the filmmakers, the only thing that they do to tip their hand is the fact that she sees the butterfly and then it's gone. And she's like, wait, where did it go? And then we cut to black.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's like, okay, because that's basically saying, I think
she was like seeing these things happen as she's dying. When it cuts to black, that's her actually dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's Heretic.
Heretic. All right, we ran long, but we're going to tell you whether or not you should watch this movie. Like we said, it's a heavy movie. But first, we're going to read some of your mail. And in order to do that, we're going to have to summon our mailman, Igor. Bring us the mail.
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Thank you for
God bless
that message. Thank you for delivering that message from someone.
All right. Well, we should remind the good folks at home how they can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook.
Facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show.
X.
@Sat Freak Show.
Email.
Saturday Night Freak Show Yahoo.com.
And Instagram at Saturday Night Freak Show. Pat Hatfield writes in about Heretic and said, very interesting. It's good to have one of these movies that invites you to think about a specific issue.
Yes.
And it's great to have an actor of the caliber of Hugh Grant here. Yes. But the finale was the typical crazy guy attacks variety. But I still enjoyed it, though. Yeah. Teresa Ann says, great choice. Would also love to hear you guys cover Sinners and Weapons sometime down the line.
I would love to talk Sinners.
Some more modern movies, they're saying.
I suppose, I guess we got to throw them. We might have to throw.
We throw them in like pretty. We sprinkle them in pretty.
I would say I haven't seen Weapons yet, but I would say there's a solid chance Sinners will show up in our end of year.
All right, there you go.
I think because we've all seen Sinners.
Yeah.
I think there's a solid chance that'll end up on end of year.
All right, good.
Last week we watched a movie called The Return of Swamp Thing. Novato Judoka wrote in and says, I always remember the Saturday night I stayed up and watched a double feature of both movies in middle school. I miss the type of schlock that was made with such high effort and quality.
Yeah.
Or such effort and quality. Travis Legler said Louis Jourdan is really good in the movie. In the audio commentary by the director, he said that Jourdan really insisted on doing everything in one take and hated having to do more than that. The scene where the mercenaries are with the kids And there's a different scene. The scene where the mercenaries are with the kids and they try to strike a deal and say, "You'll still let us go, right?" And Gunn says, "Wrong." And Swamp Thing shows up and says, "Right." Still makes me smile like a 9-year-old seeing it for the first time. I believe there was a punch to the face right after that.
It's fun.
Michael Whitaker says, fun fact, in the cartoon series Justice League Action, Swamp Thing is voiced by Mark Hamill. In fact, there's an episode that has the Joker, the prankster, Mark Hamill, and Swamp Thing all in one episode.
Oh, that's fun.
I bet he got a good paycheck from that one.
And the boy with the Jason tattoo says, Return of Swamp Thing used to play a lot on USA, where characters are welcome, but also on Spike TV.
Nice pitch. I like that.
Very good. Very good.
Well, thank you, all of you, for writing in.
Thank you for writing in.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
And for those that wrote in about crystal plumage, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there. We appreciate that writing in. More people.
We'll get to it, I promise.
We will get to it.
Yeah.
It will come soon.
We'll post about it again when we.
It will come soon
when we watch it. But yes, we will save your mailbag.
Yes, please. Write it again if you need to.
Okay, well, now we're going to go around the table and tell you what we thought of Heretic, starting with
Holly. What did you think of Heretic?
I really liked this movie. It was like I said, it was one of my honorable mentions for favorite of last year. I saw it in the theater and I was just like, this movie's for me. I love it so much. I agree that it has problems, but I can overlook them because I was with it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed where it went. It kept me like wondering where it was going. I was not expecting it to be like a profit situation in the basement. So that was out of nowhere. But you said earlier that the filmmakers understand the audience and they understand how the audience thinks. And that comes through, I think, the whole movie. I think it's beautifully shot. There's some great footage and there's some great shots just straight from the beginning. It's really beautiful. I love the content. I love the questions that are asked. I obviously have opinions about organized religion.
Do you?
I really do. And I don't mean to offend anyone that is of any religion. I admire people that have faith. I think it's a beautiful thing. I just think there's a problem with organized religion and the people behind it.
Yeah.
It can be a very corrupt thing.
Yeah.
And that's where my issue lies.
And we speak on that because I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it too.
I've seen it firsthand.
We've seen it.
Like really bad things happening. So, for a character to like point out the problems with these religions and the fact that anyone claims that one is a true religion over another. It's like you all come from the same stories. Have faith, love each other. Get over it. Like it's just so to see this character like pointing out all these inconsistencies and consistencies within religion. Like I loved the content. I loved all the points made, and I loved the counter arguments from the girls. I was like, I love this discussion. I think it's really cool to see in a modern movie. I think people are afraid to talk about these things, and I love the dialogue. I think it's. The people that wrote this movie knew what they were doing. They did their research, and I think it's beautifully done. It's scary. Like there are some seriously scary moments in this. The truth behind it, the truth behind the villain of this is terrifying.
Yep.
Because he's just a psychopath that thinks he's found like the one answer. And
we got a lot of people out there who think they have found the one
exactly
answer.
Like it's just he's just as terrifying as the problems that he is pointing out. Like it's just masterfully done.
Yeah,
it's masterfully done.
The irony, the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's masterfully done. I love it so much. I thought this was a great movie, and then I thought the ending is beautiful once you understand it.
Once
Sean.
you understand it, yeah. Once you get it fully.
Once you realize what's happening.
Yep.
I think it's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I think I know a lot of people had a problem with this movie, and I don't know if they just haven't asked the questions that this movie brings up. I don't know, but I personally,
I'm sure it made a lot of people uncomfortable.
yeah, and I think sometimes movies have to,
as it should.
Yeah,
we sent memes around earlier in the group chat.
But
sometimes the purpose is to make you uncomfortable.
It's from the most recent Simon Pegg in the Criterion Closet.
In the Criterion Closet.
It's not always supposed to be about entertainment.
No, it's
sometimes
not
the point is
to be uncomfortable.
And it should.
And that's great.
That.
So I really liked this movie. I thought it was fantastic. Highly recommend. Colin, what'd you think?
Yes, I would recommend the movie. It's exceptionally well produced. Hugh Grant is phenomenal, right? I mean, because basically it's a one-man show, right? Yeah. You're listening to a fanatical sermon for a lot of the movie. That's why I think when it becomes more about the girls down in the dungeon, and then there's like, I don't know, everything, it becomes more not standard. Just visually murky, but I think like thematically murky.
Yeah.
I guess the way I can characterize it, I was like all in, and then I was a little less in, and then it was like, okay, I don't know if I believe that you could, but And to me, when he was like, the one true religion is control, and I was like, oh, really? Okay. I mean, I guess I get that's what the filmmakers were going after. It just didn't seem like it was the revelation that I guess
that they were working towards this
thought
entire time?
It was, maybe because they're like, boom, the air gets sucked out of the room. Control is the ultimate. And you're like, yeah, right, I got it. A while ago, maybe, I don't know. Having said that,
maybe you're smart enough
I
to
can
recognize
see
that.
I can see the shape of the whole thing and what they are going after. So that is what they are trying to deliver. I get it. So then it's my problem, I guess, with it.
Yes.
So that kind of, then I wasn't like, super high, like this is a modern classic and all that, but there is a lot to love and appreciate about it. It's, anytime you get these movies that kind of provoke like a theological. Did you ever see? For some reason, the one it reminded me of very different. You ever see The Life of Pi?
Yeah.
I thought about that a lot. Yeah, but that's a religious movie. Sure. But grappling with concepts of belief and faith and stories. I would recommend it for sure. It's a great movie from A24, right? So you kind of know what you're getting going into it. That's why it's like, the stylistic stuff and the look of it. It's like they have
they have a flavor,
even though, which amazes me in some ways because all of their projects are done by very different filmmakers, but they have curated like a particular flavor.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like when you see that logo, kind of what you're getting into, you know what kind of movie it's going to be. So it's an A24 movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Sean, what'd you think for your first time?
Yeah, first time viewing.
First time watching. Yeah. Once everything kind of comes together, I really liked it. I watching it tonight. Also, along with Holly, I was just like, oh, this movie was made for me because I love anything that. First off, again, this is all personal. Anything that questions religion, I'm for, because we should question our sort of established kind of big things that we have.
Ironically, you're supposed to have faith, Sean. That's how it's I know some people can't. I can't. I cannot make that leap.
No, you can have faith, but you should question when people are telling you which faith to have.
Right. Yes. I think that's it. Like you can have faith, and I do have faith in things, and there are some elements of religion that even I think about every day about having faith in and what have you. But again, having that, I think you should have questions about the things you have faith in and, and what they mean and who's telling you what. And I ultimately come down like question everything. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to just sit here and let anyone tell me what is what. I'm going to have questions about it.
Yeah.
I love the questions this movie brings up. I love the discussions that they have. You like some of the things that Hugh Grant brings up in this movie, which I think is what draws you into both sides of your antagonist and your protagonist in this movie, which I think makes for a better movie, a more entertaining movie. If you can jump from both sides of your heroes, what end up being your heroes and your villains, I think that is it keeps you active in the movie. Very entertaining. Watching it's a one-man, like you said, one-man show. Hugh Grant, it's
amazing.
It's delicious.
He's amazing.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
I love Hugh Grant. Every shot of him, I would like go back and watch the trailer for this movie because
it's a great trailer.
It's a great trailer because they took every weird and sort of odd look that Hugh Grant gives in his discussions with everything. They give it breath in a trailer, and it really works in that in hiding that suspense of what you're about to see. He does a great job. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East, I think it was. They do a great job.
They do really good in this.
I love the setup. I love the questions they're bringing up. It does turn. This is a horror movie, so we do get to those elements, which are maybe not necessarily the most interesting parts of the movie, but they get you to the more interesting parts of the movie. It keeps you uncomfortable. It keeps you uncomfortable. It keeps you interested. I dare anyone to be bored by this movie. If you are, maybe it's elevated horror.
Oh no!
Oh no! But man, it gives you a lot to think about. It gives you a lot to discuss. It's also entertaining if you're just sitting with yourself because it'll get you things to question. Yeah, entertained, thought-provoking. And ultimately just ended where it should have. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's a very good movie. I really love the discussion tonight. It was really good. Considering all the it was nice to bring up like all the our religious past is like what are our influences and how that alters your thinking about certain things. I love a movie that will do that, and we need these movies. I love that these movies do this. I love that we can still currently right now have movies that do this because maybe we won't. But yeah, I'm definitely going to recommend it. This was. I'm sorry I missed it when it came to theaters, and but I'm glad I'm watching it now. I love the discussions it brings out. Just a good movie. I recommend Heretic.
I can confirm that Michaela recommends this movie.
Yeah.
We saw it together. She likes this movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie, and that was good. I liked it.
All right, well, it's 4.
It is 4.
Recommend, so that means you're contractually obligated by listening to the show to watch Heretic. Next week, we're going to watch a movie that's chosen by...
Holly! Not a religious movie in sight, I hope. Or maybe we just lean into it.
Not even a little bit. If this week was philosophical, next week is the polar opposite.
Okay, go.
I made a promise earlier this summer that I would bookend Deathstalker with Deathstalker 2. So it's time to watch Deathstalker 2.
All right, so that's Jim Wynorski's Deathstalker 2.
It's the summer of Jim Wynorski.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so that's next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. We hope you'll join us. And until then, ladies and germs, the basement is going dark.